Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where experts in the field inform, educate and inspire the community to be healthier, more balanced and live the lifestyle they love. Our first guest today, Michèle Wolff, is a naturopath, author and lecturer, and the topic we'll be discussing is constipation and other digestive health issues. Welcome, Michèle.
Thank you, Megan.
So, Michèle, constipation is a very common problem. Could you describe the cause of constipation?
Yeah, sure. There are several causes which are lifestyle causes because of the modern day lifestyle. The number one cause is a lack of water. So if you are somebody that has a very active lifestyle and you perspire a lot or you go in saunas, you're going to need more water than someone else. But the amount of water you need is also based on your body weight. It's also based on how much salt you have in your diet as well. But on average, if you times your body weight in kilograms by 33, you'll get the amount of mils of water that you should have. And best to have that water warm rather than cold, it hydrates better. The second would be lack of fibre in the diet. So a lot of us have junk food, more white products in the diet, more refined food, white rice rather than brown rice, and so on. So increasing your fibre through whole foods, so that would be more green leafy vegetables, whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, buckwheat. If you're someone that tolerates wheat, brown bread rather than white bread. A breakfast that I would commonly prescribe is oat bran, which is very fibrous, mixed with hot water with some figs and some chia seeds and some LSA, and that's a really, really good fibre to get the bowel moving. If it's not resolved by that, then look at exercise. So we've become very sedentary in our lifestyle compared to how much we're supposed to move, and the body needs to move in order for the bowel to move. If you haven't got a certain period of time for normal exercise, then you can invest in like a small trampoline or a lymphocyzer, it's often called. Bounce up and down while you're watching television. That's really good exercise for the gut. And the other thing I would say is that we're actually not designed to sit on the toilets in the position that we sit in. So in countries like Asia and in France, a lot of the toilets are holes in the ground and the bottom part of your bowel opens right up when you're squatting. So there are several companies that have squatting stools that go around toilets that can make a considerable difference to constipation and easy passage from the bowel. After that, the next most important thing would be probiotics. So probiotics are often known as bifidus and lactobacillus as the main ones, but there are over 700 recorded species now. And they come from foods like plain yogurt. There's a Balkan drink called kefir, which has huge amounts of probiotics. That's readily available in health food shops, or you can make it yourself. And having foods like sauerkraut, so fermented cabbage as an example, small amounts with the meals. If you've addressed all of those and there's still constipation, then have a look at your stress levels. So that can have a big impact on the bowel with the mind-gut connection. So if you're holding on to emotions, often the bowel can hold on and you can be constipated. If you've got a lot of worry that's going over a period of time, that can often hold on the bowel. So there are specific lifestyle techniques that you can do to release that stress. If it's more complicated, you might want to see a professional counsellor or psychotherapist to help release that. And I would use specific herbs for the gut-brain connection and to relax the gut and calm the mind. So stress has quite a big impact There can be more serious illnesses like hypothyroid that can cause.
What problems does constipation cause to the body?
So it can cause a lot of very uncomfortable symptoms. Bloating is a big one, which can be really uncomfortable for people. Sometimes it causes excessive gas. It causes a sluggishness, particularly in the brain, from the endotoxins going around in the body and the body just not being cleared, and the pressure on the body. If you're very constipated, it also causes a lot of pressure on the heart, and it can make you feel quite unhappy and quite down if it goes on, both from the uncomfortable feeling and the toxins not being passed. So you've got an unhealthy fermentation that goes on in the gut. So, you know, every 24 to 48 hours, the food should be moving out of the gut. It's like a rubbish bin that needs to be moved out, not causing recirculating toxins and mind problems. It can also cause problems with sleep. So some people wake up in the night because their gut is uncomfortable. With some people, it can cause swollen glands because the fluids are just not moving through the body. And you'd be more prone to, like if you're somebody that suffers with eczema, for example, it will be worse when you're constipated because, because the toxins are not free flowing out of the body.
Do you have any tips for our viewers for some healthy eating?
Yeah, so there's lots of tips for healthy eating as far as constipation goes. So having enough fibre is very important. So always have your whole grains, so brown rice instead of white rice. Every grain you have a whole grain. Green leafy vegetables. Your 1 tablespoon of chia seeds a day can be amazing. A teaspoon of ground flax seeds a day. 1 to 2 figs a day. All these things move the bowel. And then have something in the diet that's got some culture in it that helps those good probiotics and those good prebiotics. So plain yogurt or kefir, which is actually a Balkan drink that has many times more good flora and fauna than plain yogurt. That's readily available from a health food shop, and it's spelled Kefir. And avoiding white foods and avoiding junk foods, avoiding fizzy drinks and drinks with colourings in, that all will help the gut and will help constipation.
Fantastic information, Michèle. If you'd like to know more about constipation and other digestive issues and Michèle Wolff, please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we have another interesting guest with another interesting topic. Stay tuned. After the break, psychic medium and author Anthony Kilner will be talking about how ghost investigations work. Welcome back. Our next guest, Anthony Kilner, is a psychic medium and author, and the topic we'll be discussing today is how do ghost investigations work? Welcome, Anthony.
Thanks, Megan. Lovely to be here again.
Thanks for coming. So what is a ghost?
Right, so what is a ghost? Ghosts are really interesting things because we're talking about the spirit world. Now, there are a lot of people that say ghosts don't exist and that it's something else. However, as a medium, I'm going to believe that ghosts exist. And so we have different types of ghosts. So we have our ghost that's a typical ghost that's stuck somewhere, that haunts a house or a building, and they haven't moved on and they're just stuck there. And an etheric being, as I would refer to them as, is a being that when you talk to them, they will interact with you. Whereas as we move up the scale of ghostliness, you can connect telepathically with a spirit and talk to them that way. But most of our hauntings and most of the stuff really involves what we call etheric beings or beings that are just stuck here. Now, when we go up the levels, we meet other spirit beings, and they're not necessarily what we call ghosts, because ghosts are all about haunting and causing trouble and moving things. But our spirit people can move things too. If mum or dad or someone in the spirit world wants to move your keys or put a picture down at home, they're not doing it out of nastiness, they're doing it out of a sense of fun. So there are good spirits and then there are some not so good spirits. The underlying thing about ghosts and ghost investigations and things like that we do is to try and work out, okay, what is the spirit in the space, right? What do we need to do to help them and how do we do that? And the main thing is 9 times out of 10, a spirit that's stuck here is a spirit that has a message that hasn't come through. And so our job as the medium is to help them. The main thing is we've got to give the ghost a choice. So we go in there, we connect up to what's in the space. Okay, yes, we've got, you know, little Johnny is the spirit here. And so we help them get energy. And by getting energy, it means talking and communicating with them. And then that helps them to then make a choice to move on for their best and highest good. And the thing I love about ghosts is they've got personalities. Now they might be angry and they might be doing stuff that's not nice. However, they've got a personality. They can react to you. The other thing is understanding that people quite often say they've got a ghost and it's haunting them or it's scaring them. The difference between how it feels, does it scare you or does it make you okay, yeah, I know who it is and I know what they're doing. If that's the case, you don't need to do anything. It's when things start to get a bit nastier than that that you've got to maybe get somebody in to help you to understand what's going on in that space.
So that sort of leads us into the next question. What is a ghost investigation?
Let's be skeptical and say, if there's a ghost here, what is it? And then disprove everything else around it. So if you're hearing a door knocking or something like that, go around, see if there's an open window, see if there's wind coming in that's going to make that door rattle. All right, so you disprove everything else around, and a good investigation team is going to come in and they're going to do that. They're going to look at everything, they're not going to jump at shadows, they're going to use meters, they're going to use whatever they've got to work out what is in the space. So in my world, an investigation is you go in, be open to what you receive, test out the theory, look at what's happening, and then when all the boxes are ticked, you can say, right, well, this is the spirit I've got, this is what they look like, this is what they're telling me. You connect up and you talk to them, just like you would any other spirit. And from that information, then you go away and check that it's accurate.
Anthony, do you have a good story to share?
I do. I have a lot of stories because I've been doing it for quite a while. However, probably the best story is one where I met a spirit called Marianne. Now she was what we call a corporal being, in that she could come and go at will. She wasn't stuck anywhere. And I met her at a mansion and one night, and I got a sense of her being there. She was about 13 years old. She had polio. She was alive here in Victoria in the sort of early 1800s. And she just had this really lovely presence about her. However, she was really quite scared of some of the other people on our team. And I went into the room that she stayed in. She told me about staying there. And on the bed, which was sitting there, I started playing my Native American flute. And I played that, and I just got a sense of her getting up, and she got up on the bed. And then she started dancing on the bed. And everybody in our team, including the cameraman, was able to film the hand and the footprints as she moved around on the bed. Now that was pretty beautiful, and I thought maybe a big once off. However, when we went back to start doing tours at this place, I would make the bed in front of them, pull it all tight, all the rest of it. I'd talk to Marianne, explain the story, then I'd play the flute again, and they would see, not every time, but just about every time we did an investigation, one of the groups would see it, and she would get up and she would dance on the bed. Now the really beautiful thing about that was when we were communicating, she said, I don't really like the music you're playing. And I said to her, well, you tell me what you would like to play, like me to play. And so she put the sound in my head and I started playing it. And when I got it right, and I started calling it Marianne's Waltz, and that's what it was. It was a waltz done on the flute. And so I can go and play that anywhere, and quite often people, without telling them the story, will go, I saw this young girl dancing around you. How amazing. And that's who it was. So that's just one of the more beautiful stories. And even to this day, Marianne comes around when I play the flute.
What would you recommend our audience do if they have a feeling that something's not quite right in their house?
If it is a ghost, then you'd get a medium in or someone in to be able to sit down and try and connect with that spirit. And again, the objective is to help them to move on. The main thing really that I say to people is keep a diary, a record of the occurrences. And that's really important for a whole lot of reasons. So if I go into a place and they can say to me, look, every Saturday night at 12:45 this door bangs, this light goes on, that happens, then I know I've got to be there at that time of night to make it happen. So the more we know and the timing and what's going on, the more we can then target, okay, we need to be here. And sometimes if there's a lot of energy in a house, especially with kids, it might not even be a ghost. It might be an elemental being that's coming through. So good research on the people you want to bring into your home to help you to clear it and understand what's going on is essential to a good result.
Thanks for such rich information, Anthony. If you'd like to know more about Anthony Kilner and how ghost investigations work, please go to his webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we have another interesting guest with another interesting topic.
Stay tuned. After the break, psychotherapist specialising in hypnotherapy, Julie Makin, will be talking about Dare to Live Authentically. Welcome back. Our last guest is Julie Makin, a psychotherapist specialising in hypnotherapy, here to discuss the topic, Dare to Live Authentically. Hi Julie, it's so great to have you back.
Hi, thank you.
So tell us, what is authenticity?
Being authentic is about being true to yourself and to be asking yourself, is this right for me? Okay, so as an example, I know a lady and she felt hopeless, helpless. She had problems voicing, her wants and needs. She also felt not supported in her family unit. She had a couple of young kids and a husband that wasn't overly supportive. But when she actually started asking herself, is this right for me, at every choice, the world started to shift for her. People around her started to respond differently to her because she was starting to put up innate boundaries simply by asking herself, is this right for me? And when we do that, our world starts to work for us.
And how else can we live our truth? You've said put up boundaries and...
So definitely putting in boundaries as to what is right for you. If you're wanting to communicate with somebody, you might start off with an I feel statement. So I feel hurt when walk off on me and I'm in the middle of talking to you. I feel scared when you start to raise your voice. That sort of thing. So those are I feel statements. And the I feel statement is not about blaming the other person. It's about making both parties feel safe. Not only are you getting across what it is that you feel that you need to say, but then it's not landing on the other person as an attack. The other thing that I would say is you might also like to put in a thank you statement. So in a relationship, it might help to say thank you and appreciate that person. Thank you so much for being there for me. I know perhaps I haven't always said thank you for, when you do the dishes, when you pick the kids up from school. So just letting your partner know that you are appreciated. So being authentic, once again, I always come back to listening to the body as to what is right for you. So when you listen to the body and you go, okay, so do I want to go to that party? And if you just listen into your body and you recognize, oh, you know what, that's feeling a little bit challenging. It's, I'm getting all these anxious feelings coming up. And when that happens, I invite you to start to put yourself back in control by saying, okay, do I actually want to go to that party, or do I, not want to go? Because you know what? You have choice. So when you have choice and when you say, yes, you know what, I'm going to go to that party, you are putting yourself back in control. You are putting yourself back into a place of safety. The other things to touch on as far as safety is concerned is to, start breathing properly. So in for 4, out for 4, sometimes even the double breath in, like the Wim Hof double breath in, making sure that you get it all the way down to the gut. Other things to connect with others to help us feel safe is the eye contact. We want to smile at someone, you know, we want to connect with them. So those things help. You could also try like putting your tongue against the roof of your mouth as well. So just tiny little tips. Maybe check your body posture. So if we're feeling, you know, we're crouching over and we're putting our head down, our body starts to feel that little bit low and depressed. But when we like stand up and we, you know, where our chest is out, we're standing tall, we are proud of who we are, we are confident, and we are showing everybody and putting out this energy, yes, we are confident. And when you start to live authentically, that starts to happen automatically. Your body starts to do it on its own.
What stops people from living authentically?
Okay, what I feel stops people from living authentically is that conditioning that we had as a child. Once again, I'm going to say my parents were gold star parents. They put the roof over my head, they clothed me, they fed me, they were awesome. They taught me to be compliant, to do as I was told, you know, to put other people's needs ahead of my own. In doing so, they had me feeling like I don't matter. So these are the sorts of things that push aside our feeling of authenticity. Now, that kind of conditioning I had to put up with as a child. I still want to be loved. You know, it's really important for a person to feel loved and included, not rejected. You know, we want to feel supported. We want to feel safe.
Do you have any tips for our viewers?
Oh, absolutely. So once again, I'm going to reiterate the importance of the breathing. So in for 4, out for 4, to start taking the body back to that place of safety. Also, you might like to look at eye contact and smiling, you know, with someone just to help connect. One thing that I really do feel is that villagers back in the day, our ancestors, had it spot on when they would do things like the dancing and the singing. So one thing that I will do in the morning is I like to sing, have music on in the shower in the morning, start to move around a little bit, and just to start your day off. You know, you want to start your day off nice and good in the morning. And just another tip is to start taking up space. So whether or not you're, you know, in a chair like this, you might, you know, start to sit on a 45-degree angle. Start to take up space. When you're hopping out of bed in the morning, perhaps even before you even put your feet on the floor, I invite you to do like open yourself up like a star and just start to take up space. It really helps the rest of the day to have a flow. You know, we want you to start off the day in a positive way. Also invite the viewers to, you know, start to connect more with your friends, your relatives, you know, just for support if you need to. And then for further assistance, please get in touch with a professional therapist, you know, of any modality. It doesn't matter. It's got to be what is right for you. Maybe one thing might not work for you, but perhaps something else will. So I invite you to really, you know, get curious and start to have some adventure around that. Start to explore what is right for you.
Thank you so much, Julie.
No worries, thank you.
If you would like to know more about living authentically and Julie Makin, please visit her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. That's all we have time for tonight. Goodbye until next week.
If you'd like to know more about our show, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel.